Good morning, how you going? It's Mike back with the thought of the day on January 14, 2025. First, I want to give honor and praise to Ahaya Shoahaya, Bashem Yeshaya Rawakadash, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in Hebrew. Then I like to open with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May your will, not mine, be done. Today's topic is entitled to Face the Trauma. Stop running sweeps in the red zone. Face the trauma. Stop running sweeps in the red zone. Most addiction stems from untreated trauma. Not all addictions, but most addictions stem from untreated trauma. And most of the trauma occurs in our childhood. Growing up, many people went through traumatic situations. Some people were neglected, physically abused, sexually abused, mentally abused. We seen death. We seen domestic violence. We seen neighborhood brawls. We seen a lot of trauma. And when that trauma goes untreated, the first form of escape we want to take. So when we take that drug or that alcohol the first time and we feel that escape, that ease, to make everything seem it's going to be all right, that becomes the course of what we can use to not have to deal with reality. Over the years, this seems to work, and that's our go-to tool. But then the substance starts to take over and starts to really affect our lives, and then it comes to the point to where we got a choice to make. Do we keep going on to destruction, or do we try to get help? We go through different places to go try to get help once we get to that point, but we always seem to go back and pick it up again. And the problem is running from the trauma. Now, none of those times was I willing to able to really want to talk about everything that happened. Dig deep into the childhood, to go through the neglect and every other thing that I was feeling. And because of that, I kept running to different things instead of facing the trauma. And I said, stop running sweeps in the red zone, because it's like being in the red zone when you're dealing with trauma. You're on the 2-yard line, the 3-yard line, and the coach telling you to run the ball up the middle. But you don't want to get hit by the defense. The defense is the trauma, so you keep running sweeps. And you keep losing yards. And soon you're going to be out of the red zone, and the coach is getting pissed. He's like, bro, I told you to run the ball up the middle. Because once you get to that end zone, after you get hit a couple times, that's going to be where you're going to get the release. You're going to get that Holy Spirit in you, and God is going to give you the assignment, because you're going to be broken because you got through the trauma. But we don't want to get hit by that defense, so we keep running the other way. We don't want to get hit by that defense, so we keep running to sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling, food. Yeah, people go to food because we don't want to deal with the trauma of what happened. And then we ask ourselves, if it's really a God, why did he allow this trauma to take place anyway? Because that's how he was going to get your assignment. He has a specific assignment for you here on earth. And by you dealing with that trauma, that's how you get the assignment. That's how you figure out what he wants you to do. Because whatever you went through in that situation is what you're going to go out and help people go through. You're going to tell him what he did for you. You're going to tell them how he got you through that situation. And those people that harmed you or did things to you when you were young, the Holy Spirit is going to allow you to be able to forgive them, because that's going to release you. That's going to release you from carrying that burden, carrying everything around with you. And that's when you're going to be in total power to be able to work for him. So when we get in that red zone, stop running from the trauma. Go tell what happened. You got a counselor, you got a spiritual person, you got a therapist, you got somebody that can help you. Tell them what happened so you could go and become in service for the Most High. And we could stop running sweeps in the red zone, and we could go up the middle and deal with that trauma. Yeah, it's going to hit us. Yeah, it's going to hurt us. But when we get to that end zone and it's time for you to go do that work, that's when you're going to be living. Right now, many of us are just existing. So for those who out there struggling with addiction, search down deep and see if it's the trauma that's holding you back, undealt with trauma. And like I said, this is not everybody's story, but I guarantee you, Many people, when they look back in their history that's dealing with addiction, it's some kind of traumatic experience that they haven't touched yet. It's like when you go to the beach and you try to push that ball down in that water and that beach ball keep popping back up, popping back up. That's what we try to do when we trying to stuff the trauma. So stop running sweeps in the red zone and face that trauma, go straight up the middle. This is Mike. Enjoy the rest of your day. Shalom.